When a cylindrical vessel containing a liquid is revolved, the surface of the liquid takes shape is the dash shaped parabolized. The total pressure on the top of the closed cylindrical vessel completely filled up the liquid is dash directly proportional to radius 4. The total pressure on the bottom of a closed cylindrical vessel completely filled up with a liquid is the sum of the total centrifugal pressure and the weight of the liquid vessel is dash correct. The flow of water through a hole in the bottom of wash basin is example of dash free vortex. The total pressure on the top of closed cylindrical vessel radius completely filled up with the liquid specific weight and rotating radians per second about the vertical axis is pi omega square or 4 by 4g. The increase in a pressure at the outer edge of the drum of radius completely filled with the liquid density and rotating radians per second is dash rho omega square r square by 2. The tangential velocity of the water element is having free vortex is directly proportional to its density square from the center. When a cylindrical vessel radius of containing liquid revolved about the vertical axis w radians per second, the depth of parabola which is liquid assumption is the omega square r square by 2z. In the above question, if the angular velocity omega is doubled, then the depth of parabola will be dash 4 times. The angular velocity w halved, the radius of vessel doubled, then the depth of parabola will remain same. This is the correct. The property of liquid which controls rate of flow is called viscosity. True. According to Newton's law of viscosity, shear stress on the layer of fluid to the rate of shear strain. This is the directly proportional to. A thick liquid like syrup has a viscosity, then the light liquid water is the greater. The shaper stress between the two liquid layers proportional to the distance between two layers is the indirectly. Newton's law of viscosity in a relation between shear stress and rate of shear strain. The unit of dynamic viscosity SI units is dash. Newton says per meter square. The poise is the unit of viscosity in CGS system of units agree. One poise is equal to 0.1 Newton second meter square. The kinematic viscosity is the ratio of absolute viscosity to the density of the liquid. A stroke is the unit of kinematic viscosity of CGS units. One stroke is equal to 10 power of minus 4 meter square per second. The unit of kinematic viscosity SI units is meter square per second. The viscosity of water at 20 degrees centigrade is dash 1 centripoise. The kinematic viscosity of an oil whose specific gravity 0.95 viscosity 0.01 poise is dash 0.2016 stroke. The dynamic viscosity of the liquid with the rise in temperature decreases. A fluid having no viscosity is known as ideal fluid. A fluid whose viscosity does not change with the rate of deformation shear strain is known as a Newtonian fluid. A fluid whose viscosity changes with the rate of deformation shear strain is known as non-Newtonian fluid is the true. A fluid which obeys the Newton's law of viscosity termed as Newtonian fluid. Water is a fluid dash Newtonian fluid. An ideal fluid is a frictionless and incompressible. Correct. The shear stress strain graph in Newtonian fluid is dash straight line. The shear stress strain graph in non-Newtonian fluid is curve is the correct. The dynamic viscosity of a gases with rise in temperature increases. A flow in which the viscosity of fluid dominating over the inertia force is called as the laminar flow. A flow in which force is dominating over the viscosity is called a turbulent flow is the inertia. Laminar flow plays at a very low velocity takes. Turbulent flow takes place at high velocities agree. The velocity at which the flow changes from laminar to turbulent flow is as critical velocity. Which of the following is an example of laminar flow? All of this. The velocity at which the laminar flow stops is known as lower critical velocity. Yes, the velocity which have turbulent flow starts known as a higher critical value. Yes, Reynolds number is the ratio of inertia force is the dash viscous force. The flow in a pipe laminar when Reynolds number is less than 2000 true. The flow in a pipe turbulent then Reynolds number is the more than 2800. The flow in a pipe in either laminar or turbulent Reynolds number is the below 2000 to 2800. The velocity corresponding to Reynolds number is 2000 is called lower critical velocity. The velocity corresponding to Reynolds number is 2800 is called as higher critical velocity. The loss of head due to the viscosity for laminar flow pipes is dash 32 mu v w by w d square. The loss of head due to friction of pipe uniform diameter in which viscosity flow is taking place is dash 16 by Rn. The loss of pressure head in case of laminar flow proportional to velocity. The moving fluid mass may be brought in a static equilibrium position applying an imaginary inertia force in the same magnitude as the accelerating force to the opposite direction. The steam statement is called the D'Alembert principle. The D'Alembert principle used for changing dynamic equilibrium fluid mass into the static equilibrium agree. When a taking containing liquid moves with an acceleration horizontal direction, then the free surface of the liquid falls on the front end. An open tank containing liquid made for a more rest uniform acceleration. The angle theta the free surface liquid makes with the horizontal is such that tan theta equal to a by z. An open tank containing liquid moving and acceleration of an inclined plane. The inclination of the free surface of the liquid will be the acceleration of the tank is the directly proportional to. A closed tank completely filled with an oil, it may move with a horizontal acceleration, then the pressure back end will be more than that of front end is the corrective. The torque required to overcome viscous resistance footstep bearing is dash mu pi square pi nr power 4 by 60 t. The power observed overcoming viscous resistance of the footstep bearing is dash mu pi cube n square r power 4 1800 t. The torque required to overcome viscous resistance is collar bearing is pi square n 60 t r1 power r2 power 4. In a footstep bearing, the speed of the shaft doubled, then the torque required over come the viscous resistance will be dash doubled. In a footstep bearing, the radius of shaft doubled, then the torque required to over come the viscous resistance will be dash. This is the 6 times. The coefficient of viscosity may be determined by this is the all of the above. The coefficient of viscosity in boys given by 0.0022 t minus 1.8 by t into the gravity of liquid. This equation used to determine the viscosity of liquid by orifice type viscometer. Bulk modulus of a liquid, the ratio of increases pressure to the volumetric strain. Bulk modulus of fluid as the pressure increases. The volume of fluid as the pressure increases. The volume of fluid as the pressure increases decreases. The specific weight of compressible fluid does not remain constant. True. The pressure of air with increases the height of from the surface earth is the increases. The celerity of a pressure wave in a fluid is given by root of k by rho. The ratio of velocity fluid is an undisturbed stream of the velocity of the sound wave is known as a Mach number S. When Mach number is less than unity of flow is called subsonic flow. When the Mach number is equal to unity, the flow is called sonic flow. This is the true. When the Mach number is between the flow called supersonic flow. This is the 1 and 6. When the Mach number is more than 6, the flow is called as the hypersonic flow. A flow called subsonic if the Mach number is less than unity. A flow is called sonic if the Mach number is the unity. Agree. A flow is called supersonic if the dash Mach number is between 1 and 6. A flow is called hypersonic if the Mach number is none of this above. A point is compressible flow where the velocity fluid 0 is called. This is the stagnation point. The pressure at a stagnation point is always low. Disagree. When the plate is immersed in liquid parallel, the flow will be submerged in the pressure that the same plate is immersed perpendicular to the flow less than. The force exerted by the moving fluid, the immersed body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum due to the presence of the body. This statement is called Newton's law of resistance. The Newton's law of resistance is based on the assumption that there is all of the above. Whenever plate is held immersed at some angle with the direction of the flowing liquid subject to some pressure, the component of the pressure in the direction of the flow, the liquid is the drag. Whenever plate is heavily immersed at some angle, the direction of the flow liquid is subject to some pressure, the component of pressure right angles of direction of flow, the liquid is known as lift. True. According to the Prudhoe-Blasis relation, the thickness of boundary layer, the laminar flow is 5x by root of r and x. According to the Prudhoe-Blasis relation, the thickness of boundary layer, the turbulent flow is dash 0.377x by r and x 1 by 5. The separation of flow occurs when the hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness reduced to 0. Agree. The force present in a moving liquid is dash. All of this above. The product of mass acceleration flowing liquid is called as inertia force. The viscous force is the shear stress due to viscosity and the cross-sectional area of the flow product. Surface tension force is product of surface tension per unit length of a cross-sectional area of flow. This is the incorrect. The ratio of the inertia force to the viscous force is called Reynolds number. The Reynolds number of the ship to the velocity and length directly proportional. The ratio of the inertia force, the gravity force is called Froude's number. Agree. The ratio of the inertia force to the called Euler's number. Pressure force. The ratio of the inertia force, surface tension force is called Weber number. Correct. The ratio of inertia force to the elastic force is called. This is the Mach number. The Froude number is the ratio of inertia force is gravity force. Select a correct statement. Weber number is the ratio of inertia force to surface force. Euler's number is the ratio of force pressure force, the inertia force. The reciprocal of Euler's number is called the Newtonian force. Yes. Reynolds number, the ratio of inertia force is the viscosity force. The value of bulk modulus of the fluid required to determine. This is the Mach number. This is the fm is the over in RS Kurmi, and again go to the. Thank you.